Listen, listen. I tried to tell y'all, for you Falcons fans who upset right now because y'all lost the Super Bowl. Listen. I feel like the Joker. It was all in the plan. You know what I'm saying? Just because I got on Falcons colors don't mean I'm a Falcons fan. Although I used to live in the ATL, my fam still lives down there. I'm a Pittsburgh dude. But check it. Look, I wasn't even salty when Pittsburgh lost because I knew they were gonna lose. It's all written in the stone. It's like the election. I keep telling y'all, the election was rigged 20 years ago when our president right now, goofy dude, was supposed to be president. Even the Simpsons tell you that Donald Trump was supposed to be president, uh, and there was nothing we could do about it because of the electoral college. These are the same people who control sports, the same small group of people who run the world, who run the banks. Same people who run the news, the same people who run the music industry, the same Jewish people. Same people. I try to tell y'all. Or don't be, listen, Atlanta. Atlanta, you should feel, you and the Panthers, you in Carolina, y'all fans, y'all should not feel upset. Y'all should not. Because it was already written down that y'all was supposed to lose. It's already written down. And when I'm talking about Carolina, I'm talking about when they went to the Super Bowl after winning 17 games and then lost the big one. You lost because you were supposed to lose. Pittsburgh, we lost because we were supposed to lose. You know what I'm saying? That's all there's to it. I told y'all I made a video when I saw the score. It was like 21 or 28 to zip or 21 to zip. I ain't even moved me. Because I made a video about a week or so ago telling y'all that Tom Brady was going to win, and then I told y'all why the Patriots was going to win. I made that like a week or so ago. I already knew what it was. And everybody was talking about Julio Jones, and I was like, yeah, Julio Jones. Shoot. Matt Ryan. Matt coming out and doing his thing. Sanu. Sanu. Them boys is doing their thing. When I was like, look at my last video. What's it titled? But he's Tom Brady. You you listen, Falcon fans. Listen. You got to understand the rhythm of things. Now, there's going to be some gematria guys coming out talking about some numbers and putting numbers together. And I always tell gematria, tell me what's going to happen before it happens. Don't give me a bunch of numbers after it happens. I make videos telling people what's going to happen before it happens. I'm not a psychic. I don't get down with that. I just know that sports is fake. You know what I'm saying? I know that it's fake because I used to watch it and then I used to be like, oh, this is what's going to happen. And then I see it happen. And then there's been very credible people coming out and saying how fake it is. These are not just internet people on YouTube making videos. These are people who, for one, play the sport. Two, the referee came out and said it was fixed. And then you have all kind of bad calls, just terrible calls. You got uh, the sissification, which ain't a word, basically saying they sissifying the game because you can't hit like you used to, and that's because of concussions. And I can understand some of that, but along with that come the flagrant flops, and it's just all bad for the sports because now it just doesn't make these guys seem like what they really are. Like the average guy can't get out there and get with them because you'll get your head knocked off. So this is why I miss like the Legion of Boom because they was knocking heads off. You know what I mean? Like keep those guys doing their thing. But even in that Super Bowl, when they lost, because Russell Wilson should have 2 rings. But when you look at that, you look at why didn't they give Beast Mode the ball? Once again, he's Tom Brady. I told y'all, Tom Brady's going to win this Super Bowl right here, and that's going to be his last Super Bowl. He broke a record doing it. It's the most, and I said even in my last video I made today, that it's going to be some crazy comeback. It's going to be crazy. And what happened? It was a crazy comeback. They win in overtime. He's Tom Brady. There's too many strings pulling for him for them to have lost that game. And that's just the truth. Listen to what I'm saying in my last video. I really don't like repeating myself, but there's just too much riding on him to win, just like Cam Newton knew he wasn't supposed to dive on that ball. And what happened? Peyton Manning won, and he retired. Tom Brady just won. He broke a bunch of records, and what does that do? It drives up the revenue of the sport because people want to see a record-breaking game, right? And then, not only does it do that, the ratings keep going because now they'll keep talking about how great a game it was. And that will spill all the way into next year because people will say, wow, that was a great game. I want to see another great game instead of a blowout that we saw about 4 years ago when Peyton Manning and his squad, the Broncos, just they got annihilated by was that Russell Wilson and them out there in Seattle? Was it Seattle? Yeah, they got they got annihilated by Seattle. It was like 48 to like 7. They were getting hit so much and so hard that they were afraid to catch the ball. The receivers didn't want nothing. Crabtree didn't want nothing. It wasn't Crabtree. It wasn't Crabtree because Crabtree played for San Francisco. It was somebody else. But they didn't want nothing to do with the ball. That's how hard they was hitting them. They didn't know where these guys were coming out of. And all they could think about was, I got to go home to my wife and kids. This ain't worth it. And they blew their doors out. Even the lineman at the end of the game, he just had to sit there and wonder what happened. How did they get blown away in the Super Bowl? But what happened? 2 years later, boom, they gave Peyton Manning his due and told him to sit down. Don't you play another game. Don't you do it. They gave him his honors and he's out. It's the same thing that's about to happen. If Brady doesn't retire next year, in 18, he'll be done in 19. That's it for him. There's no more Super Bowls for him. Next Super Bowl, it looks like a toss-up, but you got to look at where the revenue is. Tom Brady is a high revenue person. I think he's only got 2 or 3 years left, but I don't think he's going to have another Super Bowl. Not unless there's another record to be broken. But I think that's it. So then you look at who could possibly, you even look at the long term. You say, who can possibly be that great that they can come out of nowhere and do the same thing Brady did and do it better? Who can we put up as a poster boy and say, this is what greatness is, to keep the fans coming back, to keep the money coming in, to keep the, halftime, big time, you know what I'm saying, to keep it all going, even if it's negative press, like what Beyonce did. It was negative press, but you still tuned in to see it. You know what I'm saying? It was negative press, but it was still eyeballs on what happened. There's still people talking about that. So they're still making money off of that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's Colin Kaepernick, the NFL is still making money off of Colin Kaepernick. And they will be for a long time running. You know what I'm saying? Simply because of what he did in his silent protest. So you got to understand the revenue stream. If you start following the revenue streams and who is either a high revenue person or who is a possibly high revenue person or team, then you're going to look at that person and go, that right there is who they're going to start touting. That's who they're going to put up in front of everybody. And you got to understand they're going to appeal to families. So it's just not somebody who just comes out of nowhere. You're looking at a family man, probably. They can put this person in the White House. You know what I'm saying? Sitting next to the president. Because why? Eyes are on that. So it's all the revenue. You got to look how revenue is generated. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they're talking with the president. Just like in basketball, you had Steph Curry. He's out there with the president and whatnot, doing his thing. Uh, Nonetheless, he still lost. They lost, but then you had Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. He's just everywhere. So he's really high revenue. He's higher than Steph Curry because he's been in the game longer. So you got to look at that. So you got to look at who's high revenue. And I'm gonna tell you right now, somebody who's high revenue right now, I'm gonna say Russell Wilson. He got a big contract, just got married, think he's about to have a kid. He's young enough to where they can push him for 10 years. He can crack open. I mean, he's already got a ring. So it's not far fetched for him to get another 3 or 4 rings before his career is over. It's just not. Aaron Rodgers is high revenue, but he isn't as attractive. And I don't mean so much physically. I mean so much of what he does. He's got a couple commercials out there and all that, but his demeanor is nothing like what Tom Brady is. Plus, Tom Brady is a good looking person. He's aesthetically good looking, and his wife is a supermodel, so they really really pushed him. But Aaron Rodgers, he's a nice guy, but he's just it, I don't know. To me, it's just not as attractive as Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, it seems like more people gravitate towards Russell Wilson, especially now he's got a wife and kids, and it's all brand new. I can see him being in the news a lot. You know what I mean? I can see them getting large revenue streams behind him to where he can make more money outside of football than he can make inside of football. Like LeBron James does that, and you have a lot of guys who do that. You know what I'm saying? Because they know how to attach themselves to the right situations, and then they get that help. They get that inside help, and they can do no wrong. They're not in the mix with anybody. They're not doing anything crazy. Also, I can see Dallas as a team. I can see the Dallas Cowboys winning at least 2 in the next 5 years. As a team, I could see that. I can see maybe even 3 within the next 7 years. I can see Dallas Cowboy. I could see that. So, in between them, Russell Wilson, um, maybe Pittsburgh getting another one in there. I'm talking about in a 10-year span. Maybe Pittsburgh getting another one in there. Definitely Aaron Rodgers. I can't really see anybody coming out of nowhere. Like you would like to see the Rams do something, or you would like to see Chicago mix it up, get rid of that expensive quarterback, and then get a good quarterback if they haven't already, and then Chicago get up in there, like Chicago, let Chicago make some noise, let the dirt come back. You know what I mean? Because Chicago, man, they used to be that gritty crew. You wanted to see a Super Bowl game in the snow. You wanted to see people slushing it up, getting hit, broadside, not even knowing where it's coming from. You wanted to see that. You got a lot out of Chicago. So that's just a couple things I'm throwing out there. But I think Tom Brady's done. I think he got what he wanted. He could go sit down now and just be a legend. So it's your boy Tom 202. Peace.